Hey everyone, welcome to Sandy Talks Canada. So the first video from the new house after the house tour. आज वाली वीडियो बहुत ज़्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट है। जो भी कनाडा आना चाहता है, चाहे आप एज अ स्टूडेंट आ रहे हैं स्टडी वीज़ा लेके, चाहे आप एज अ परमानेंट रेजिडेंट आ रहे हैं, सबसे पहला हमारा स्टेप होता है आईएलट्स के लिए तैयारी करना, राइट? और आईएलट्स में काफ़ी हम लोग प्रॉब्लम फेस करते हैं, या तो स्टक हो जाते हैं। स्पेसिफिकली अगर हम बात करें पीआर के लिए, तो 8777 बोला जाता है मैजिक स्कोर, जो आपको काफ़ी अच्छे सीआरएस पॉइंट्स देता है। सो 8777 में लोग राइटिंग में स्टक हो जाते हैं, 6.5 से ऊपर नहीं जा पाता। स्टूडेंट्स की बात करूँ तो स्टूडेंट रीडिंग में स्टक हो जाते हैं, 5.5 पे रह गए, क्योंकि 6 ईच चाहिए होता है स्टूडेंट्स को भी कनाडा के स्टडी वीजा के लिए। सो आईएलट्स बहुत ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट है। आज की वीडियो आईएलट्स के ऊपर ही है। आईएलट्स में आपको कैसे क्रैक करना है, फ्री प्रैक्टिस टेस्ट मटेरियल आपको कहाँ से मिलेगा, जो भी आपके क्वेश्चंस हैं रिलेटेड टू रीडिंग, राइटिंग, स्पीकिंग, लिसनिंग, इनके ऊपर हम आज टिप्स एंड ट्रिक्स कवर करेंगे विद नेटिव स्पीकर्स। सो आज की वीडियो में हमारे गेस्ट होने वाले हैं शैनन एंड जेसिका। चलो जी, आई एम सो एक्साइटेड। विदाउट एनी फर्दर अडू, लेट्स स्टार्ट द वीडियो। So hey Shannon, hey Jessica, welcome to Sandy Talks Canada.
Hi.
Can you introduce yourself so that my audience get an idea?
Absolutely, yes. Our names are Jessica and Shannon, and we're both IELTS teachers from the United States. And people also know us as the IELTS Marshalls. And our main goal is just to help people move to Canada, study at universities there, and become permanent residents. Over the past 10 years, we've been helping many students get sevens, eights, and nines on the IELTS exam. And so we're really excited to share our advice today. And thank you so much for having us.
Oh, I'm so glad to hear that. Thank you so much for coming on our channel. So my first question is, how long does it take to, for someone who's starting in IELTS?
Well, depending on people's English skills, we recommend studying for 1 to 3 months. That should give someone enough time to take a lot of practice tests, write plenty of practice essays, master the format of the exam, and also reach out to a teacher if they need any extra help in a particular section.
Okay. And is there any free practice test available or which they can use to practice, in different sections of IELTS?
Yes, there are. So we recommend the websites British Council, IDP, and Cambridge, just because those three organizations are the official sponsors of the IELTS exam. So that means those practice tests most closely resemble the real thing. And that's always a really good thing when you're studying.
Yeah.
You can't always trust the random practice tests that you find online from different sources. Those tests might be too easy or they
Yeah.
might be too hard. So yeah, so we recommend those. And if you do need extra practice, go ahead and buy a Cambridge book. There are 4 tests in each one. And we always recommend starting with the most recent editions first.
So my next question is, what about vocabulary? Because we care about vocabulary a lot, for this exam. How can we learn vocabulary quickly for IELTS exam?
And that's a great question. We get it all the time. People ask us, how do I get vocabulary quickly? I need to sound more advanced. I need more expressions. And actually, we find that the people we work with do not need more vocabulary. And it'd be better to focus more on sounding more natural and down to earth. So we do not want people to go online looking for band 9 vocabulary words and idioms, memorizing them, and then trying to use them on the test. People actually go down half a band score or a full band score in speaking and writing when they do something like this.
Okay.
Instead, yeah, we just want people to focus on sounding natural, fluent, and comfortable. And that means using a lot of the vocabulary, you already have. And that sounds pretty good already. And just having, that vocabulary that, you feel comfortable with will give you that edge and a higher score on the test.
Okay, that comes to the next question then. People find it very hard to, go from 6.5 to 7 in writing. They are stuck at 6.5. What they are doing wrong, and it's very common. I myself was at same stage. I have given IELTS fewer time and then I went to 7, but I didn't really knew at that time what I was doing wrong. And there are so many things.
That's a great question. So many people get stuck at a 6.5 in writing. And they don't know exactly what they're doing wrong, exactly what you said. They take the test 2, 3, or even 5 times, and they still can't get higher than a 6.5 on the writing section. So, and this is probably a lot of people who are also listening right now. So if this describes anybody listening, here are a few things that might be going wrong. So number 1, your writing is probably too complicated, and it probably sounds like an AI bot wrote it. So yeah, so that's what we're saying for people who are listening and are experiencing this problem, maybe, yeah, that's kind of where they need to start right away. Maybe the words that they're using are a little bit awkward or overly sophisticated and in an attempt to impress the examiner. But really, examiners are not impressed by that at all. So, really, what they want to see is that you can communicate clearly. So, that means make sure that you shorten your sentences, make sure that your essay is easy to read, and also make sure you're using language that is clear and direct. And one thing that really helps people is imagine that you're writing to a group of 16-year-olds. Could these 16-year-olds understand your essay perfectly? And if so, that means you're closer to the 7 or higher. Now, number 2, don't use transitions like first of all, second of all, third of all, fourth of all. Yes, on one hand, on the other hand,
Yeah.
In real life, that's totally fine. I mean, we can use them, when we're running emails or whatever we need them for, but don't use them on the IELTS exam. Examiners think that you've memorized those transitions just to plug them into your essay. And they call this mechanical linking, which means, yeah, it's just really robotic transitions for them. And then it's really hard to get higher than a 6.5 on the writing section that way. Also, number 3, make sure for writing task 2, your essay has 4 paragraphs: an introduction, main paragraph 1, main paragraph 2, and a conclusion. And make sure you skip a line between each paragraph on the page. And that just helps the examiner see the paragraphs very, very clearly.
And also, I have read for the writing section, it's good to take a stand, so with agree and disagree, right? So we cannot be neutral.
Yes, that's exactly right. If it's an agree or disagree essay, choose one side 100% if possible, because that will get you a much better score. Only in very, very, very few instances have we seen people take a more nuanced and balanced approach in that type of essay and get a high score. It's not the norm. Definitely choose agree or disagree on that type of essay.
Thank you so much for these points, Shannon and Jessica. That's really going to help. And the next section is reading. People get stuck in reading too. What's the best way to increase the score in reading?
Yes, well, there are some strategies we want to teach everyone. Number 1, go to the questions first. Don't start reading the passage right away. Read the first question and then go to the passage. Read the passage until you see the answer for question 1, and then go to question 2. Then you can go back to the passage where you left off and continue reading until you see the answer to question 2. And then the next thing we want to say is number 2, that the answers come in order in the passage. So you'll see the answer for question 1 pretty early. And then you'll see the answer for question 2 in the next sentence or the next few sentences. And then you'll see the answer for question 3. So that will help you find and locate the answers a little bit more easily within the passage. They're in order. And then number 3, never skim and scan the passage quickly. People hear this all the time. Skim through the passage at lightning speed to read it all so fast. Well, we find that people miss the answers completely when they do this. So we want people to read all the words and to read at a normal pace, not too fast and not too slowly. And that comes with practice. But this way, you'll see all the right answers.
Okay, that's definitely helpful. So no skimming and scanning, just go right to the questions. That's what I've done. I got 8.5 in reading.
Oh,
yeah. Now comes to the next section in IELTS is speaking. What are the best ways to improve the IELTS speaking? Definitely you are the native speaker, so we want to hear from you.
Okay, yes. From our experience, number 1, for speaking part 1, it's really important to keep answers brief and simple. And you shouldn't make your answers longer than 2 sentences for speaking part 1. The goal for speaking part 1 is to sound accurate, fluent, and that English is just super easy. And so the best way to do that is to keep your answers brief. Now, number 2, make sure your tone is conversational and friendly. So pretend that the examiner is like a neighbor. So you want to use everyday language. You want to use language that sounds really natural. And then number 3, give examples. So examiners need evidence that you can explain an idea really well, or that you can get really specific about a topic. So the best way to do that use examples. So if you want to say your mom is kind and generous, you should also say something like, for example, my mom volunteers at the local animal shelter every weekend.
And that also, gives an idea to the examiner that it's not crammed answer, right?
Yeah, that's right.
I knew that.
Natural. Yeah.
Okay, it's natural. Coming to the easiest section in IELTS, which is listening. So, what are the best ways to get 8 in listening?
Yes, that's a great question. So we would say to use the breaks. You have 20 to 40 seconds before the audio recording actually begins. So read as many questions ahead of time as you can. And then also, number 2, underline the key words in each question. That should help someone identify the right answer when they hear it, and then also not get lost in the middle. And then number 3, at home, take the same listening tests over and over again. We know how tempting it is to get your hands on a new listening test and use that one instead. But we want people to take the same listening tests a few times over until they get a perfect score on those, and then move on to the next one. So that will really help their studying.
That's a great tip. So now the important thing is I went through the IELTSMarshalls.com. I was really impressed and I figured out I was doing something wrong at my end when I was practicing for IELTS. Now, if people want to reach out to you, how can they work with you?
Yeah, that's a great question. So just like you mentioned, people can go to our website, which is IELTSMarshalls.com. And there they will see we offer 2 courses, one for the general training and one for the academic. Now, these courses are designed to help people raise their scores very quickly, and we tell people exactly what to study and how to study it. So in each course, we have 3+ hours of pre-recorded video lessons. We include links to 50 practice tests. We also have 20 Band 9 writing samples written by us.
Okay.
Yes, we also have 100 speaking samples, and we're native speakers. So yes, and also they help really nail the style for the speaking as well. Also, we incorporate quizzes and assignments just to help people raise their scores quickly and for us to track progress. And then also we have live workshops, which give us the opportunity to give feedback on writing and speaking as well.
How much does this course cost if someone wants to enroll in it?
Right. So our courses cost $49 per each course, the general and the academic. And we want to give everyone listening a 20% off discount code, Sandy Talks 20, one word, for a limited time. So definitely go to our website at the checkout page, use that discount code for a limited time for 20% off on all of our courses.
Oh, that's great. So thank you so much specifically, giving this code to my audience. So guys, do check that out. You can use code SandyTalks20 for extra 20% off. And already this course is very affordable, just $49 for entire course. Thank you so much, Shanon and Jessica, for coming and also giving us an opportunity to learn from you for all those different sections. And also guys, if you're watching this video, do check out this course, and also the live workshops and live training option is really amazing. According to me, you can have help with your speaking and also writing. So I'll leave the link of IELTSMarshalls.com in description. Thank you so much for watching. Milte hain agli video mein. Till then, take care. Bye bye.